Okay, hello everybody. It's Breakout Bag Lunch, and we're back with another trade recap for today, December 2nd, 2025. As you can see, I had a realized loss of $92.80. Today was just frustrating for me because of the errors that were made. But I'm happy to say that after the fifth trade, I decided to stop for the day and move on, because in the past, I know that once you start feeling emotional about your performance, that's when you blow your account. Let's talk about what happened and where to go from here. We're just going to start with the gold trade. Now, this is one that could have been a huge profit for me, but I messed up with setting an order. As you can see, we have a 5-minute opening range here, represented by these two blue lines. We had a break of this range, a retest, and so here at the break of these two candles. And my original plan was to hold this trade until we got to 40 to 45.4, around this area where we had this previous low. But I went to place a stop order, and I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think I may have put in a limit order for 4249, but my idea was to set a limit order here and a stop loss order here, but I set a limit order which caused my shorts to be covered immediately. I decided not to get back in a trade because if I did, I wouldn't have had such a good entry. But then look what happened. The trade would have hit this profit target, and it just kept going lower and lower and lower. Man, if I had held those shorts from up here, it would have been at least a $1,000 profit. So this was a mistake on my end. I think I'm just going to do OCO orders from now on because of something else that happened that I'll talk about later in the video. But this was the gold trade. Alright, for MES, this was another tricky situation, but not because of how I set my orders. And we had a break of the 5-minute high, we had a retest, and another break, and I bought here for longs. Now, since this opening range was pretty small, profit target was in the 68, 60-ish level. We got up to here around 68, 57, 60, 58, 68. But price failed to make new highs 3 times in a row, and then it went down. So I sold here at about break even. Then once we were breaking below the 5-minute range, I tried to short right here. And it worked out at first, then I got stopped out. Then I tried to short again. And here I accidentally shorted 8 contracts of MES. I got out of 4 immediately, but then once we had this green candle that went past my stop loss, I got out of those 4 MES shorts, and that was the end. You know, after all these trades, I just decided to call it a day from here. And as you can see, once I called it a day, MES actually hit my original price target, but by then I wasn't trading anymore. Overall, it's definitely frustrating when these sort of things happen, but it's important to limit your losses. So I have to say I'm happy with the way I handled things, even though today was the most profitable day. I didn't mention this in a previous video, but I actually had a gold long that triggered yesterday because I set a limit, a limit market order for a trade I was in yesterday that didn't get hit. Once that order was triggered, I got out of it immediately. That only caused me a loss of about $6. That just means that now I need to now. But the only way I'm going to fix the mistakes that I made so that they don't happen again is by setting bracket orders. I typically don't set my profit targets as a fixed amount or stop losses in the same way as a fixed amount, which is why I haven't used them so far. But I think, with the OCO order, all I have to do is just press that button and then change the take profit and stop loss on the chart to meet my needs. So these sort of mistakes that I made today are avoided. Alright, that's all for today. Once again, it would be nice if every day was a green day, but it's just not realistic. And if you have any comments, feedback, thoughts, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. And enjoy the rest of your day.